Lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Big Mike's on Aspen Square in Denham Springs, welcome to the Monday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Glad to have you with us today. Troy Macker with us today. Henry Hayes with us today. The Super Regional is going to get back underway here during the show. Alabama St. John's picking up in the top of the 8th inning, with Alabama leading it 7-2, and Kansas and Oklahoma, that starts here any minute, and then Kansas and Oklahoma pick up 8-1. That game's in the third from Lawrence. That game starts at noon, so both of these could be done by middle of the afternoon. If St. John's were to stage a big comeback, then they would play another game. If Kansas were to stage a big comeback, they would play another game. So we got all of that going on. Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tonight. We had good golf yesterday, and a lot of baseball.
Burns with another contention.
Yeah, he was right there. And I want to get to all of that, but the story that's had everybody buzzing for the last couple hours since this came out of Lubbock just demands to be addressed first. And Jimmy, we've been at this a long time. First of all, good morning, and I hope you had a good.
It's okay, Charlie.
Had a good weekend.
We're past the pleasantry part of our relationship. It's okay. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that very often, but there's certain the NCAA has been over the past, 10 years, piece by piece, been stripped down of their powers, and some of these rules were antiquated and needed to go. The NCAA is an easy punching bag. It was player payments, and then one of the big ones was you couldn't have an agent. Now everybody has an agent. Academics, who cares if they go to class or not? Performance-enhancing drugs, or even recreational drugs, who cares? Smoke all the weed you want. It doesn't matter. One by one, they've just gone by the wayside. But there was one that I really thought was going to hold up, and that was if the NCAA had a 10 commandments, forget the NCAA, if athletics, professional or college, had a 10 commandments, commandment number 1 would be thou shalt not gamble on sports, and specifically thou shalt not gamble on or against your own team. This goes back to the Black Sox in 1919, Judge Landis, regardless of the verdict of juries. I really thought this one would stand up, and I was wrong, because this morning Brendan Sorsby was granted a temporary injunction against the NCAA that allows him to play for Texas Tech next year. There is a 2-game suspension. Woohoo! Because he got a 2-game suspension.
He got a 2-game suspension. Because Judge Ken Curry ruled that Sorsby's attorneys demonstrated he will suffer a probable, imminent, and irreparable injury if he's unable to play for the Red Raiders this fall. Well, of course he is. He's being punished for breaking one of the longest rules there. You know what? It would give me imminent and irreparable injury if I committed a crime and had to go to jail. You would be denying me, the ability to go home and sleep in my own bed. Why? Because I committed a crime. Okay. Well, this is not a crime in the sense of you broke the law. Actually, I think he was a minor when he was making some of these. So it is a little bit of a law. This is as old as when they roll the first balls out. You can't gamble on your sport. Why was Pete Rose handled so much more harshly than so many of the other players that had violated various rules over the years? Because it
affected the integrity of the game. And if you ever get to the point where you don't think the games are on the level, that's it. We're all going home. That's why it was so important. And I don't want to be hypocritical. We talk about gambling on the show all the time, but we're pretty adamant about it, okay? It's for fans. It's for, people to do recreationally. We don't advocate that players or coaches go out and do this stuff. I think if this holds up, this is the last bastion of the NCAA. There is no NCAA anymore. And look, it's been a joke for a long time. It's been really, really on its last legs for a long time. But I think this is it. This was the one thing that I thought that they could enforce, because this is not some obscure rule that he broke by accident. This is the number one thing that they tell you when you put your helmet on, when you put your jersey on. This is the first thing. You can't gamble.
One of the words you use is adamant. Everybody, no matter what part of town you're from or what your upbringing is, everybody knows, right from wrong, and you are hit over the head that this is wrong.
Yeah.
As soon as adamant, over and over. They know. If you still do it, you got to pay the price. Nope. So I was dead wrong on this one. I gave him no shot.
I think everybody was.
I gave him no shot.
I don't know anybody that said, yeah, he's going to get clear. Oh, there's some cynics that say, well, it's a Texas Tech judge. And they actually recused the other guy who was a double Texas Tech graduate. And this was a retired judge that they brought back to hear this case.
But in Lubbock.
In Lubbock,
yeah.
Yes.
Nate Oates only won a loss.
I guess.
An Auburn judge.
Different type of case, but yeah.
Well, it was in Tuscaloosa, right?
Either yeah, or Birmingham, but yeah, I think it was Tuscaloosa. Yeah, he lost that one on Bediaco, but this one blows me away because of all of the things. This one's supposed to stand up, and he knew it, and he did it anyway.
Right.
And the repercussions of this could be staggering, I think. Because I do think that if this holds up, what else is the NCAA there for? They've lost every piece of enforcement that they have had. It's all gone now. This is the last one. If you can't enforce this, you can't enforce anything. I don't know if the bill that we spent last week talking about, the Save College Sports Act, that I'll die on this hill, and if I'm wrong, I'll say it again. But if that bill is incumbent upon the Big Ten and the SEC sharing their broadcast revenue with each other and everybody else, then that ain't going anywhere. You amend that part of the bill, and we can talk about transfers and coaches leaving and Olympic sports and all that other stuff. You keep that in the bill, and you tell those people that they gotta share their money, you can forget it. And the bill is incumbent. A lot of the bill is incumbent upon revenue sharing of broadcast revenue, among other things, and that I just don't think that in its current form has any chance. But if you say that gambling is okay, that you just got to go in and find a judge, then this opens the floodgates in college sports anyway. The NFL and Major League Baseball, the NBA, they all have player unions. They have collective bargaining agreements. They have antitrust exemptions. College sports has none of that. But if you just open the door and say, as long as you say you're sorry and you go to counseling, which he did, then you're allowed to do this. That's it. They suspended 4 players from Alabama State last week just so we could pick on the little guy, But if Texas Tech, who's got arguably the biggest booster in college sports, if their quarterback's in jeopardy, we can get him eligible. If you're at a small SWAC school, what's Tarkanian's famous line?
They're so mad at Kentucky they put Cleveland State on probation.
That's a modern day version of this.
Isn't that life? Where people with more resources have better legal representation and may be able to get them out of some jams that a lot of normal Joes can't.
Yes, it is. We were hoping for a little bit more fairness in college athletics, but that's
foolhardy. That's foolhardy, I guess. When it came to gambling, I was like I said, this was the last one. We never
Big Ten and SEC don't want fairness.
No,
okay?
we never disputed the fact that Ohio State had more resources than Ohio University. Okay, we got that part, but I really thought that this one would stand up, and they could have made an example and said, "Look, this is a big-time quarterback. This is a guy who has a contract for over $5 million, depending on which reports you believe, and has an NFL future. Just how much of one is up for debate, but has an NFL future. You can say, hey, listen, he knew it, he did it anyway, and he's got to pay the price."
Scary part about the Alabama State players, how little they got.
Yeah.
Oh, my
it was
gosh.
Hundreds, right?
Yeah.
It's
like 500 a piece. Like, whoa.
Beer money, it's nothing. There's a lot of money on the line here, but we've seen so much happen over the years. It's really hard anymore to be appalled or astonished or shocked or whatever you want to call it. But this one really, I think, is going to send shockwaves through athletics, and I hope that there's some way to overturn this, because this is the one. If this rule goes by the wayside, I don't know
who's presenting the case against. Who could come in there and say, listen, that this is normal for, because not everybody knows that how the student athletes are lectured over and over about, just stay away from it. You're gonna, I remember the posters in LSU Stadium at the time, like, don't gamble your future away.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of, you can't do it. It's just over and over. They're hit over the head. Who, when they have this, is, we hear Sorsby side. I got that, but who's people says that, where the NCAA, whether it's a typical, where's the representation there?
They lost.
They don't go in. What is it? Their side of the kids like, no, these athletes that Sorsby was warned over and over. They all are. This is
that this would absolutely rip at the fabric of college athletics if anybody that participates is allowed to gamble on the games.
The only one that we heard present the other side on all these crazy cases, and the only one that lost, was when Sankey publicly made his feelings known about the player from Alabama's eligibility. So this is wrong.
Yeah.
This is wrong. And he actually, did he influence that decision? I don't know. But that we heard that. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist in Lubbock or didn't exist, but I don't really hear about it. The NCAA, I don't know. We also talk about a lot. You remind me when we bring it up, how the LSU situation, and they definitely, railroaded Will Wade because they needed to protect the football program. I said, well, geez, that's one. And you said the NCAA has been down for a long time.
Yeah.
Your words.
Yeah.
We still feel like that was a that was just a miscalculation by the LSU athletic department. To cower to the NCAA.
It was a different time, but yes.
You just said long time in the open. This has been going on for a long time.
That was, 7 years ago, the 19 season. So a lot's happened in the last 7 years.
When did they act? But when's the last one? They just crushed some, as they've done in the past 30 years ago, whatever. When's the last?
Alabama State last week. Are we counting? The last big time school.
Are those guys suspended? They're done.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Eligible. I would hope so.
The last. Boy, this is going to require some thought. The last big time program that was on what you would call a significant penalty.
7 years ago, LSU was a brand name in football. As strong as it gets.
Yeah.
They protect the brands. I know we have our different. Would you bring it up from time to time? Were there other people? I'll stick with my guns there. There was a miscalculation to cower to the NCAA because there ain't a whole lot of people doing it right now.
No, now nobody would. Why would you?
You said a long time. It was your words.
I did.
Yeah.
And
7 years not a long time.
In a vacuum, is 7 years a long time? No.
But would you agree that in the last 7 years there have been more changes to the NCAA than in any 7-year period in our?
I'm just going by your words,
No,
Charlie.
I know.
When you tell me a long time, I would think 7 is in that range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did they miscalculate? Well, yeah. No, you can say it for sure. It felt different at the time. There are still people that believe that the NCAA would have come down hard on the football program had they not fired Will Wade.
That was my point.
Yeah. What happened? I don't know.
I think this is proving it was a miscalculation.
The Kansas, portion of that was always a thing too. It's like, Kansas had all of these allegations leveled against them. They gave Bill Self a lifetime contract, so they weren't all that worried about it.
Long ago was Bruce Pearl. He didn't cooperate with the internal investigation.
And now you're okay.
The investigation by his employer.
Yeah, he just
I'm not cooperating.
Yeah, Wade did the same thing. He said, I'm not cooperating. LSU fired him. Auburn didn't fire Pearl.
Auburn
Pearl went to the Final Four.
Auburn went to the Final Four. Auburn and Auburn gave his son the job.
His job. Yes. Follow the rules, boys. It'll set you up. We're here at Big Mike's in Denham Springs.
Little Nicky in Congress. I mean, dude, really? Competitive balance is coming out of your mouth. Man, you need to be lightning needs to strike you. Come on, man. Come on, man. Competitive balance, my ass. I mean, with the bogus scouts at the time. Remember that was the handlers who put together a couple of films. You want to subscribe to my service? Yeah. How much is it? It's $50,000. You just pay spray paint. He gives you a couple of VHS tapes. And here's my service.
And make sure you give it to me before you give it to anybody.
He subscribed to he paid the quote-unquote scouting services more money than any coach.
Yeah.
Sounds like competitive balance.
As long as you're up at the top.
Eddie Lacy, how'd that summer credits go? Huh?
Don't even get me started on academics. I don't know when's the last time any of these guys went in the classroom. Seriously.
Ducking classes, having tutors do your work for you, and now internet, online. Who knows who's actually taking a test online? But, or even athlete-friendly professors. That's been going on for a while.
Sure.
That little cat and mouse game. Yeah. This is a breakthrough here.
This is different. This is definitely different. We've never seen this before. Yeah. Here at Big Mike's in Denham Springs on Aspen Square. Come on out and see us for lunch today. We're in the bar area. Great place. We're watching the games. St. John and Alabama are back underway here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-2. Alabama leads it. One of the best happy hours anywhere. From 3 until 7, Monday through Friday. You're getting $2.50 domestic beers, both bottle and draft, $4 wells, and $5 wines. You come by, watch the games here. Those happy hour prices are good all day on Sunday. Not too early to start thinking about your fantasy football drafts. They've got multiple rooms here that you can use to have your draft. You get your food and your drinks here. You get to watch the preseason games if they're on while you're doing that. A lot of place to stretch out here at Big Mike's. Live music every weekend, and Monday night is all-you-can-eat boiled shrimp starting at 5 o'clock. So we invite you to come on here on Aspen Square. Big Mike's at Aspen Square in Denham Springs. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. And we are brought to you by Supreme Rice. 90 years in business here in 2026. Go to SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers. We've got 6 of the 8 representatives for the College World Series put into place. Alabama needs one more inning to make it number 7, and then Oklahoma is in position to hold on to a big lead. Jimmy,
surprise.
Kansas, for every – that's a good place to start. For everything that they had last weekend, crowd really into it, great atmosphere, team playing with some swagger, with some confidence. boy, this was just
the most impressive thing was had Hunter Dietz in the stuff he had.
Yeah.
And that's the ace who's been a little bit injured for Arkansas. But he set a personal strikeout record in the game 2, the Marble game of the regional. He had 14 strikeouts. So his stuff is working. He's an all SEC pitcher, and they beat him. That's the one we're like, okay, all right, Kansas. So for them to get smacked around the way they are by Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma's bats are hot. I get it, but still, this is not one of the stronger teams, not even close in the SEC. There are a lot stronger teams at home than Oklahoma from the SEC.
They threw Cord Rager in the opener, who had given up roughly a run an inning over his last 21. And this was against Kansas's ace, Dominic Vogel, who had a higher ERA, but had pitched pretty well in the regional. Jimmy, just mostly what I saw was Kansas looked wide-eyed. All the things you might have expected.
Yes.
3 errors in the opener.
You should have got that out your system.
Yes.
Yes.
If they would have done that last week, I'd have said, okay, they're not used to this stage. The stage is too big, but it wasn't.
Arkansas is a bigger, more imposing program than Oklahoma.
Much, yeah. And against a pitcher like that to be able to hit. And then Rager, give him credit. The guy goes out and throws 6 one-hit innings. Where'd that come from? There's been nothing close to that. And I get that, the crowd never had a chance to get into it. As excited and as on top of you and just that atmosphere that they created last week, they never had a chance. They've been down multiple runs, it seems like, when the game started. And Oklahoma didn't take the lead until the 4th inning of the first game, but it felt like, wow, where was that team from last week? I don't know. That was one of the bigger surprises to me. I guess they got a big comeback today, but don't see that happening.
Probably the super regional of the weekend was North Carolina and USC, and we talked about North Carolina a lot, and I'm like, man, I know none of these guys on that team, but I've seen this program choke before. And, man, Friday, they looked like they were on their way. The one that really got me was pulled in the infield, less than 2 outs, runner at third. I think they fell behind at that point. Hit it to the shortstop. He's kind of on his knees or whatever, but he's your best fielder on your best fielder on your team. Your starting shortstop.
Yeah.
And he throws the ball 25 feet from the catcher.
He had time to get up, set his feet, order a sandwich, and throw to the plate. But they were up 5-2 in that game to give up the grand slam to fall behind. So they had a lead in the middle innings.
Oh, they had a 5-1 lead. 5-1 lead and left the bases loaded with nobody out
in the first
3 straight strikeouts.
That's right. Yes, it was 5-1, and then it was 5-2 when they hit the grand slam. So they ran off 5 consecutive runs. What I didn't know on Friday was that they were going to hold their ace, DeCaro. I don't know why they. North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, North Carolina. And throw their 2, which, they were doing okay, and then, they gave up the grand slam. DeCaro comes in and throws a complete game shutout on Saturday. I know that mathematically there is no difference between game 1 and game 2. They both count for 1. I think psychologically, though, it's a very big deal, and you fall behind 1-0. Well, DeCaro picks you up, and then yesterday you find yourself behind going into the late innings, and they got the double to walk it off. I asked you and Max, we were on a text thread together about the center fielder from USC. He obviously is well aware of the wall. He goes in kind of feet first. It was by no means an easy play, but it's a play that other center fielders we've seen make, and North Carolina walks it off with that.
Derek Curiel's in the world. Are pretty damn good. And he makes that play.
It takes an upper-level center fielder to make that play.
Well,
but it's a makeable play.
It's tricky because first, he's playing shallow.
And that's to cut off the run at the plate if there's a base hit.
Okay, but you gotta prioritize your positioning over stopping the base hit. And that's I mean, how many times with 2 outs with a running at the crack of the bat in college, a base hit to center, and you're going to get thrown out at home?
It takes a big arm. Yeah.
So, I mean, that ball was in the air for a long time. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a long run to make. Elite, and I think Curiel is an elite field glove. I mean, plus glove,
Mm-hmm.
yes. He's making that catch. And some others out there that are pretty good. I don't know. This guy just kept waiting for the way he was running it. Just when he got to the warning track area, he was definitely conscious of the wall.
Yeah.
It kind of was a little timid.
Goes in feet first.
Yeah, I mean, you would have had to go in all that running and pretty much almost on a sprint and catch it and bang into the wall.
And it's a brick wall. It's a brick wall at that portion of the outfield.
It's not a fence. That gives a little bit. Huh?
It's got some bricks. I think if he would have kept on that trajectory, he would have run into bricks. I would have hurt.
It's a left-handed hitter.
Yeah.
It's in Oppo.
It's spinning. Yeah.
Yes. It is tailing away from him in the Oppo gap. So, I'm wondering, man, it was in the air so long. The left fielder, it was just hit in the spot, maybe in the only part of the park that it could have fallen, coming off that guy's bat.
Right.
The way their outfield was aligned. I mean, he had to run a long way, but how many times you see the center fielder run that far and the left fielder's still really not in the play?
Yeah, the bigger mistake was the foul ball before that, which it reminded me of.
Say a mistake?
Yeah, I think it was a mistake.
Charlie, they ain't no third baseman catching that. Dude.
No, exactly. It's the left fielder's ball.
Well, they couldn't get there.
He was there. He's got to call that guy off. That didn't remind you of the play with Oregon State and Arkansas in the finals?
I don't think he was there in time to call anybody
off.
Okay.
I think he was.
I got to look at it again, but I didn't.
I think that's the left fielder's ball all day and all night. I thought just the same way that it was on the right field line, Arkansas and Oregon State cost Arkansas
I know,
title.
but that guy had a chance to get to it. I'm not so sure this guy had a chance to get to it.
Go back and watch it again.
Okay.
I think he did. But when that ball falls, no, I don't think the third baseman. No, that's a tough play, but it's an easier play for the left fielder.
I thought that was what I saw. The third baseman, he was hustling.
He was,
but I mean, it's that far shortstop. Now I did see Lil Vladdy at first yesterday make one way up the right field over the basket. Mm-hmm. Okay, which it's rare. Okay, give you an idea. A-Rod, who was a Gold Glove shortstop playing third, those foul balls gave him fits.
Yeah.
Gave him fits. I mean, I never gave the third base. He's hustling. Mm-hmm. He got down there, but I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again. But I didn't think it was a blown play by any stretch.
Well, was it a routine play? No, but I thought the left fielder should have gone off.
The ball to win it was way more catchable than that foul ball, in my opinion.
Go back and watch it again.
I'll go back and watch it again.
Okay.
Don't forget our friends at where are we at? Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Long-standing staff. They will execute your deal seamlessly. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Big Mike's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Let me clarify real quick. The bricks are not in the wall in left field. I didn't mean to say it like that. It's in the scoreboard above that. So, no, he was not going to run into a brick wall in the outfield. So,
and also the foul ball, no, I'm saying that was it was not catchable. In any chance, and listen, you're talking about the left fielder's coming from a long way, and he's going to have to go on a sprint. He might not even get there, and he's got a brick wall on the side.
Now, that's
where the brick wall is.
Yeah.
Okay. Third baseman was closer and clearly cuts him off to give the left fielder no chance at making a play. I had USC in the series. I was not upset that they could not make that catch. I watch a lot of Major League Baseball, and that play is not made in Major League Baseball 9 times out of 10.
I don't think it was an easy play. I think it was a makeable play for the left fielder. We're going to disagree about that, but that's okay.
Well, no, when he cut him off, Charlie, he's got no chance.
Well, but if he's screaming, I got it,
he is in no position where he's calling anybody off because he's not sure he can get there.
I think the play's in front of him. We're going to disagree about that. Alabama wins at 7-2. They move on to the college.
You don't even know where the bricks are. All right, let's go to Troy. Troy, what's going on, buddy?
No, nothing much. Just getting set for another busy week.
Hey, Troy, tell us about. I'm starting to hear some stuff about the before we talk the NBA and stuff about this UFC, DC outside, huh? I mean, don't they have some mosquitoes in D.C., huh? What's going on with this thing, huh?
Yeah, it's been pretty disastrous. I mean, there was a lawsuit filed yesterday or today because they didn't go through the proper congressional yada, yada. You know, it's funny, growing up in D.C., I don't really care much for the government or politics or nothing because it's everywhere. What I can tell you is in June in D.C., it is humid as hell. I mean, I think you're probably one of the few places in the country that's more humid than D.C. in the summer. Houston being one of those as well. It hasn't been as humid, but the only times they've really had UFC events outside, so to speak, are when they've done shows in the Middle East. And those are outside, but it's like an amphitheater where there is a cover. There is no true cover. There's like a temporary cover. The lighting's going to be bad. The humidity could be very bad for the footwork and just like cage positioning. I mean, amongst other things, there's just a litany of controversies surrounding all of it. But from just the fighting aspect, I don't think fighting outside is great at all. And it's going to be a spectacle, but like the card itself is not even that great. Yeah, you have Justin Gaethje and Ilia Topuria. That should be a great match. But like this is supposed to be on par with UFC 100, 200, and 300 that had 3 or 4 title fights, Hall of Famers, deep cards. This is just okay, and it's going to be remembered for all the controversy around the development of it more so than the fight.
What about Saturday night? Well, we had a good one. Another one. I'm sorry, Friday night. It's been all the way Friday night, but Spurs Knicks. I mean, it's kind of coming out. It's kind of, I guess, developing into maybe a lopsided series. That's what we're thinking right now. But man, the first 2 games were really good. But another tight game goes New York's way in San Antonio.
Yeah, well, I'll say one thing about Saturday night. We had a great game on Saturday night, and it was the Stanley Cup Final. And
it was. All 3 of those would be good, too. Yeah.
Amazing. And I think no one really cared about that because, obviously, the Knicks and Wemby are in the NBA Finals, and in Vegas and in Carolina, not hockey hotbed. Those games have been incredible. Comebacks, late goals, everything you want. Check it out. But, yeah, the focus is the NBA Finals. I had to go with the Spurs to get the bounce back in Game 2. That's kind of how trends typically play out. The Knicks, as we discussed on Friday, the Knicks are just a really tough out, really hardened, steely veteran team. Can get down and come back. They got shooters. They got glue guys. They have everything you need. Tonight's tricky because this is the game everyone's been waiting for. First finals game in New York in how long? Since 1999, I believe. The ticket price is going to be through the roof. President's going to be there. They can take a 3-0 lead. Some interesting things, like the point total is 218.5, 219.5, and both of these games are under two. The previous 2 games are under 210. Do we think the Knicks are going to take their foot off the gas at home? Do the Spurs finally show up? People are betting on this like it's a foregone conclusion that the Knicks are going to win. I mean, we're talking, almost 70% of the money line money, almost 70% of the spread money is on the Knicks to win outright and to cover. So, I'm very intrigued by what takes place tonight because I think this will really show us what the rest of the series looks like. If the Knicks win tonight, they're winning the whole thing. If the Spurs win tonight in impressive fashion, I think series is completely on.
What was the action on Friday night with that game between the Spurs? Who were the public betting?
Knicks Knicks pretty strong.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how much was that in game, but you know, we're talking close to 60% of the money line money, 55% of the spread money. So it was a split on the spread, but in terms of tickets and money on outright, it was on the Knicks, and I think that came, you know, as the game developed. We've been taking a lot of live betting. I just don't have the you know, the breakdown of how many live bets and handle we took compared to the total game.
Who do you like tonight, Troy?
Oh, so hard. I like the under. I like it's 216.5. I said 218. It's 216.5. I like under 216.5. I think it's the Knicks, but I don't know because I didn't have them winning game 2. Can they win a third game? Is all the noise of them going back to New York gonna play into it? I don't think so because Jalen Brunson doesn't hear noise. Josh Hart doesn't hear noise. So I lean Knicks, but I'm not making a bet pre-game other than I'll be on the under.
This team has shown that they can, and maybe I thought that with the first 9-day layoff when they came up against the Cavaliers and they looked so bad for 40 minutes, I'm like, look like a team that might be, you know, listening to all the, you know, they're being told how great they are in that city. Yeah. You know, for 9 days, and it maybe, but I think it was the rust factor more than anything in hindsight that they just they struggled with. I mean, their cohesion and their chemistry, it's just their togetherness is the thing that where they're peaking. Keep in mind, this is a team that went from 7.5 to 1 to win the whole thing before the season started. And then after the regular season, before the playoffs started, it was 22 to 1. Okay, so they were an underachieving unit for 82 games of the regular season, but it has clicked now in the postseason. And, you know, part of that chemistry, sometimes you can disrupt it when you have such a long layoff. And so maybe that was part of it. But this team, if they're not taking their foot off the gas, how much fear up 3-0 against the Sixers did they have of the Sixers coming back and winning that series? Zero. How much fear of the Cavaliers winning up 3-0 in that series did they have that they were coming back and how much did they take their foot off the gas? Not a bit. So they're going to do this against Wembanyama and the Spurs? They're smart enough to know that. So I just think I'm on the Knicks again. I'll be on the public side. I'm not usually, but I was I flipped on this Knicks team. You know, after I liked the Spurs in Game 1, I took the Knicks in Game 2. I'll be on them again in Game 3.
Is there anything to the idea? I'm fascinated by the first quarter here, and the first quarter line is basically a picket. That the Knicks come out so geeked up tonight that they play a little bit tight in the first quarter.
It could go both ways. The thing about Madison Square Garden historically, the fans are, you know, for a team that have struggled and performed so poorly and just flat out lost, been a loser for so long, they do have a strong fan base, okay? But sometimes you think about some of the Madison Square Garden bigger games, they lost.
Yeah.
And Reggie Miller or Halliburton or Game 7 with Smits, you know, I mean, they've had some losers in that building too.
It's the biggest game in the Garden in 25 years, easily. And you know, even if you're as veteran and as settled as this Knicks team is, but for a quarter, that's why I'm not the game. I'm less certain about, but that first quarter, I wonder if they're going to come out just so amped that they play a little bit tight for 6 or 8 minutes.
What about the Game 1? Game 3. Game 3 at home in the Western Conference Finals. The Spurs at home. You remember how that started? It was 15-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So. You know, I don't know. I mean, you know, the Spurs are going to throw a shot at them, but I mean,
the Spurs are a little bit desperate. The Knicks are a little bit tight. The Spurs in the first quarter, which is basically a picket.
You say they're tight. Well, why wasn't San Antonio tight? They got their split on the road.
I don't know. I can't answer. Other than this is
a very mature team, Charlie.
Yeah, it is, and they may very well come out and blow the doors off the Spurs tonight. I'm saying if I had to make a wager on tonight's game, I'd take San Antonio in the first quarter only, just to see if the Knicks can come out and handle all of this.
So you're taking more. One thing we know, the Spurs are desperate.
Yes.
And so, so that I think for what you're looking for, but the Knicks are very mature. This team is beyond mature for haven't really accomplished anything. They are handling That's why we're having so much of a problem with it. We've seen Mike Brown before. We've seen his Knicks front office before. We've seen his Knicks teams before. We've seen Karl Anthony Towns before. All of them are playing smarter, harder, more. They're not taking their foot off the gas, whether they're easy path or not. We've seen a lot better teams kind of just play with their food a little bit. To use one of your terms, Troy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really intrigued by that first. I'm intrigued by the first half, really, because like you mentioned, the Spurs are incredibly desperate. Like tonight is must win. I hate using that term, but it absolutely.
They're desperate. There ain't no doubt. Yeah.
But it is like they have a good team, but Wemby is the future. But like in looking in the present moment, they do compared to a veteran team with superstars. They look a year away, 2 years away from being that team. And, that's not to say that they can't beat the Knicks, but the Knicks they look so seasoned, so incredibly seasoned. But to that point, sometimes if you're seasoned veterans, you can always call on that muscle memory. So maybe they do come out a little sluggish. Usually they play those home games at 7:07, 7:30. This is an 8:30 tip, probably going to be a late start because of all the pomp and circumstances and the security measures with the president. So that first quarter bet, I think, is very intriguing because the Spurs, no matter what time they play, they have to come out like bat out of hell. Like they have to come out like hungry dogs, all the metaphors, because they have to get control of the game early and hang on because the Knicks are going to make a run.
What's the price of a sweep right now?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't have it in front of me. I haven't even thought about that because I can't imagine this being a sweep. I can't imagine a Knicks team that just a few years ago we were clowning on. I mean, we clown on every New York team, and this is Wemby. He's the future. We have anointed him as the king of future basketball. So I can't even imagine a scenario in which the Knicks are the most likable champions of basketball we have because all we do is kill New York, all their teams. Even when they're good, they're not likable. This team is inherently likable, and so is their opponent. And the Spurs have been one of the most likable teams for my life because of their makeup and their coaches. It's very hard to wrap my head around this scenario because it's nothing I ever thought. And here I am rooting for the Knicks, the teams that we like to laugh at.
It was plus 600 before that started, and I think it's probably bound to like plus 180 or 200 right now. So we're trying to we'll get that one a little bit later. Follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Macker. That's MACHIR, MACHIR. Troy, great stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you Friday. Thank you.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
All right, don't forget our friends at Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111. You get in an accident like I did, girl cut in front of me, totaled my car, airbags deployed. I had to find a rental car, had to get to the doctor's office, had to see the chiropractor, had to pay the medical bills. No, Dana Brown took care of all of that for you. So never a fun time to go through this. Never, but he wants to take care of you, wants to get you better, but also make sure that you get everything that you're entitled with, especially negotiating with the insurance companies. They're seasoned. Talk about seasoning. They're seasoned to do this. You and I try and do this for the first time. We are not. So it's a law firm for a lifetime for both Charlie and I. We have used Dana's team of attorneys at different times of our lives for different reasons and never hesitated to recommend them to anyone else. Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, our law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
The sweep immediately after Game 2 went to plus 155 on the Knicks from plus 600 immediately after the game. So I'm not sure if it's
I'm sure it's close to that now.
Yeah. Live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Amor Knox, Sean Fulcher, Corey Hines, and Tony Matlock have been permanently banned from NCAA competition.
Alabama State kids.
Permanent ineligibility. Yeah. In addition, each athlete was cited for level 1 ethical conduct. This was last week. Mm-hmm. For manipulating a game between Alabama State and Southern Miss in December of 2024, for which they decided they were paid $2,000.
They total.
Yeah, total. $500 a piece. Mm-hmm.
Also, that they had been misleading to the investigation of that. Brendan Sorsby, who bet $90,000 total over multiple years, is going to serve a 2-game suspension. Texas Tech AD Kirby Holcutt. As we have said before, we do not believe that the circumstances of Brendan's case warranted permanent ineligibility. We remain committed to supporting his recovery and ensuring compliance with the court's order.
Would he have won his case in Baton Rouge?
I don't know if he'd have won his case in any other courtroom in America. And
whoa, now, come on.
if you got a Texas Tech judge in El Paso, maybe.
If the Ohio State, they're going to trial it in Lubbock? No, they're going to trial it in
Sure.
Columbus. You telling me there's not a chance?
I don't know.
You tell me if they got a guy, Summerall's new quarterback in Gainesville. They got a Gainesville court.
Yeah.
Very
few outside of.
Look, we were wrong on this, bro.
We missed it.
If you can flip this one around, Charlie, you got it. I can't believe this is the only one.
No,
this is so.
If the first 3 hours are any indication, this is the most public outrage I've seen over something. If the online stuff is anywhere near accurate, I don't know anybody outside of Texas Tech that agrees with this. And I'm going to tell you, this may be unpopular. But if this kid would have been here and they would have ruled him eligible, I'd have said this is BS.
Well, we said that with is it one of Wade's kids or something?
Yeah, Luis.
Luis or Lewis.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He shouldn't be eligible.
Yeah.
And if he gets eligible, okay, but he shouldn't.
Right.
We don't think that he should.
You can't link these together.
No.
He was not manipulating. He was not point shaving like these kids from Alabama State were. They were. They were point shaving. Charlie.
If you take money to manipulate,
I'm sorry, that's worse.
Yes, no, that is worse.
That's worse.
Okay,
that's come on.
We're gambling. The rule's pretty clear. Pretty clear.
They're not the only one that's gambling, but you can't do it. You can't do it to get caught. And you got to get it through their head. It's easier to get caught now than ever.
Hour number 2 at Big Mike's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here on Aspen Square, Big Mike's, where Monday night is all-you-can-eat ball shrimp every Monday night, starting at 5 o'clock. And, of course, it's dollar wings on Wednesdays, if that's a little bit more of your preference.
Dollar wings.
Happy hour of 3 to 7, Monday through Friday, $2.50 domestic beers, both bottles and draft, $4 wells, $5 wine. Good all day on Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. And starting to think about your fantasy football drafts. Be here before you know it. Check out Big Mike's, including the Aspen Room and multiple other rooms that you can use here for your fantasy football drafts. Lots of room to spread out. Of course, great eats and drinks while you're doing it. Maybe watch some of the preseason games while you're doing your drafts. That's available to you. Just get in touch with them here at Big Mike's for your fantasy football drafts or other parties and receptions. The Aspen Room is open and available, completely remodeled here within the last year. So come on by and enjoy it here at Big Mike's.
Great place to watch the game. A big, nice TVs in here. Look in the bar area alone. You got 8 TVs, and none of them are small. Some really nice spots. If you're watching, some of the College World Series, watching some of the golf coming down the stretch in the NBA Finals, whatever it is, and also, Charlie, it's hot. You won't get a spot where the sickles work in this box, okay? The AC works here, man. It's always good. And the service, it's locally owned and operated, but the service is fine tuned. So it's kind of to have the locally owned places that also pay attention to the details of service are really good. So it's got the best of both worlds, man.
We were talking about North Carolina and USC. You thought it was the best of the super regionals. Good choice. There were others.
Oh, well, Georgia
and Mississippi State.
Did you see the uppercut swings, though, it got to be? It was like driller's diamond.
21 home runs in 2 games, and 13 to 12 in the first game, 11 to 9 in the second game.
Biggest comeback in the history of Georgia baseball?
And the first in 196 NCAA tournament games that somebody had blown a 7-0 lead. Go back to game 1, Saturday. You're Mississippi State.
It's 7-0. You've got a 7-0 lead, and your best pitcher on the mound, who has thrown 32 pitches through 3 innings. I mean, he's cruising now. First time through the lineup, but
a lot of ground balls too. Mm-hmm. So in that stadium, I'm like, I'll admit it. I took the oath, but I took Mississippi State minus 5.5 at that point. I hadn't seen one time through the lineup, and the second time after that.
Right.
I mean, he faced the minimum. One hit. That's it. No walks, because walks were a problem too. I mean, obviously, when the ball is flying out the park like that, it will have a timid effect on your pitchers.
Right. So what was one of the big storylines of Game 1? Trey Phelps serving the 1-game suspension, one of Georgia's top hitters. So they put this Cat O'Shaughnessy in.
I know.
It's 2 home runs and drives in 5.
I mean, So I mean, it's at some point it's the park. I mean, it's too much.
And I wonder, we're watching the left field side. It's 350 down the left field line.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's deep for a down the line shot. And it's 20 feet further than it is at the box. And the ball's still flying out. I mean, the trees are full. Okay, they've had enough to eat.
It's like I said. How many times of the home runs do you see the outfielder go back? He's at the track. He's at the wall. No. These things are flying 7,500 feet over, man.
Out of the 21 home runs, maybe one.
Yeah, one was a
close.
cheap one. You know, I mean, there are just mammoth shots. I've been there a lot. I don't know why. It's hilly. It's not mountainous. It's not like it's arid. The air is light. It's not like there's a body of water where the wind is blowing off of. It's just, man, but that thing carries, man. I mean, it's an hour and 15, hour and 20-minute drive, maybe an hour and a half to where the old launching pad got the name, Fulton County Stadium, because they called it. It was a launching pad. Yeah. This is a launching pad. I mean, it is what it is, and that's the biggest. Man, I just can't get over it. Everybody was swinging about like Brian Buxton. I mean, it was just. It was obnoxious, man, and it was just.
And they hit really good. Both of these teams hit really good pitching. Jack Bauer, who's a kid that comes in for Mississippi State behind Valenkas, is left-handed and throws 100 miles an hour. Okay, he's left-handed and he throws 100 miles an hour, and he's a relief pitcher in college baseball. This kid's going to be a monster player for them. He gives up 3 runs in an inning. So I mean, it's not like they're not facing guys with electric stuff. West Johnson State
walks in the games.
In the first game,
probably had about 8 walks in both games.
Mississippi State walked 2 in the first game. Georgia walked 5.
So that's 7.
The second game, a little bit more than that.
It's about 8 a game. That's just giving a free passes, man. That's a lot, and you're going to have every now and then you're going to have a little, sketchy fielding and stuff like that. I mean, it's
11 in the second game.
The ball,
between the two.
This is a launching pad, as we talked about. I mean, I talked about this before they threw out the first pitch for the regional round. I said Mississippi State gets there because I saw that series in College Station, and that was a slugfest between A&M and State. Like, they go to that place with the bats that Georgia has. And we talked about with LSU, had their series sweep against South Carolina. Okay, that's great, but you're going from South Carolina's lineup to Georgia's, and you're going from Alex Box to that launching pad. And Alex Box can be a launching pad, but nothing like that. I mean, can we settle the discussion? I think we're on the same page before, but Tennessee might be in the conversation, but ain't no park plays as hitting friendly as it does in Athens.
And and it depends. Tennessee, that monster team from 2 years ago, just blasted ball after ball out of the park. The team obviously matters a little bit, but I can't argue with after what we just watched. And it makes Wes Johnson's decision to stay with Volchko as long as he did, in my opinion, because I'm watching it going, you got to get this guy out of there. He's just getting shelled. Well, everybody's going to get shelled, so I'm going to try to get as much out of him as possible because we know that this game's going to end up double digits on both sides. So I'm going to eat up as many innings as long as he doesn't get completely – he ended up giving up 7 runs in 5 innings before they finally got him out. Now, a couple of those were unearned because of the error, but still, he had I mean,
I'm
it's 7-0.
I'm glad
most
you brought
pitchers
up
out.
to it because it's definitely a theme, and it's definitely something I can relate to, or at least understand the patience by the coaches with their ace going in these game ones. You pull your ace, probably not coming back unless you have a weather day. So you're trying to get at least some. You're going to give him. You're going to be more patient with him. You're going to allow him to try and bounce back something. And like you said, I mean, it's the one that didn't, and he let it go for a little bit. He escaped though. And you talk about USC, and when USC, bam, first 3 guys are on. Next 4, 5, and 6 strike out.
Yeah.
They don't get anything, and it was still up 5-1. And Stankiewicz finally had to make a move. Well, his bullpen, they held North Carolina down, and then North Carolina, had their own mistakes as well. But it wasn't, and he's a couple outs away from winning the thing. I mean, I think they got the first guy out in the 9th before walking single.
Yeah.
Set up the fly ball and in a double. So I mean, he's right there. So it worked for him to pull him early, but you got to try and get something because you start. Man, some of these. Game 1 of Mississippi State and Georgia, did you see some of the pitchers coming in? 6.4 ERA. They hitting line drives off the pitcher, knocking them down. It was not a fun place to pitch.
No, you'd be terrified out there. And Mississippi State, God bless, they're going to spend their summer going, we went to Georgia. Georgia may very well win the whole thing. I mean, they've answered every call. I don't know that they're going to win it, but they're certainly got a shot, and they'll be one of the favorites, if not the favorite. Mississippi State went to Georgia's last at-bat with the lead in both games and couldn't hold it either time. So they're going to say, if Georgia ends up winning this thing, they're like, on their home field, we had every opportunity to advance here.
They just got to clean a little bit up during the season, especially in losing those games at home.
They went through that stretch where they lost 6 in a row at home, and it cost them a top 8 national seed.
Now, we start with the big 3. Okay, and I get it. When we're at the field of 64 and you say, okay, UCLA won their regular season and their tournament. Georgia Tech won their regular season and their tournament. And Georgia won their regular season and their tournament. Okay, so any of those 3, say if UCLA was the only one, we're going to be talking about, man, that's the team to beat. If Georgia Tech was the only one of those 3 left, we're going to talk about them being the one to beat. But Charlie, when you play in that park, and it's so much different, and it plays so much, is there a more pitching-friendly park? Everybody else is in between. You got Athens, and you got Omaha.
Yeah.
Everything else is in between. We've seen enough of this.
That's why at the beginning of the tournament I said, the one thing that scares me about Georgia is it going to translate up to Omaha? Now, they score runs at times without hitting home runs, but so is it going to translate?
So I watch a team like Texas who can win in other ways. Yeah. I could see them and the thing about Georgia, if they want to do it, and they don't do it at home for obvious. I mean, where's the running game in Fenway Park? You're not doing it. Yeah. Okay, minus Dave Roberts. Okay, in the one game when you're down 3-0 to the Yankees in the ALCS.
Rivera was on the mound.
I mean, you had to steal a bag there, but I mean, you just don't do it. They got speed. Georgia has some guys that can run, a lot of guys that can run in their lineup. I mean, they take some extra bags, so they may have to become a little bit more of a, put the ball in play. It's just, they just don't. In Texas, how about them at the end of the game last night? I mean, how about that bullpen? I mean, they've got starting pitching. They got the kid, the lefty, who's probably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft next year, 6'6", left-handed sophomore. I mean, you got him. You got power. You got speed. You can play small ball. They can. You can shut people out. You can make it a 6-inning game because of their bullpen. There's a lot of ways that Texas can win, much more than what's a slugfest type of approach in Georgia. Georgia does have speed. They can do it, but are you going to ask them to just be contact hitters all of a sudden?
Right, and so a few things here. First of all, with Georgia, if you're saying, look, all of those balls that were hit in Athens would have been out. These were all 400 and something feet shot. The ball doesn't carry as well in Omaha unless the wind's blowing out, which in that park it usually isn't. So don't just look at the distances that they
Here's the key. They pull it, they'll hit it out. You hit between the alleys, it's not going out. Those ones that
it
are
is very difficult to get it out to
you got
center,
the 25-foot hitters background. batter's eye. Then they're clearing it left and right. They're almost knocking the cameraman off his pedestal up there. That's not happening.
No, you're right. That's always been the one spot at Schwab that you can get the ball out is down the lines. The
ball. I watch the Big Ten tournament. Every game in the Big Ten tournament, ball. You pull it. He'll go to dead left to the corner to the pole, to dead right to the pole. But man, in those alleys, it ain't getting out. Dude.
Occasionally, you will get a wind blowing out at Schwab that really makes a difference. Game 2 of the finals between LSU and Florida is an example of that. That's an exception. That's not the rule. That day, the flag poles were blowing. Every now and then you get a game like that, but it's not common. If I'm Georgia, I'm rooting for that. Texas, Valanis in Game 1 pitched around a lot of traffic. He gave up 8 hits and 4 walks and a hit batter in 5 1/3. And Oregon left 17 people on in that game. They actually out-hit Texas in the game, even though they lost it 11-3.
So what do you give him more credit for?
I give him a lot of credit.
You ding him up for, pitching in pressure situations where they had to get out of stuff constantly, or for allowing that many base runners.
If anything, I'm more impressed. Given Oregon's team, that's a big physical team. I give him credit for pitching around it. The number in the runs column is always going to be the most important, but he had to really work. He had to really work. And in Riojas last night, I thought for 3 or 4 innings had maybe the best stuff I've seen him. He faded late. They left him in a little bit too long, but
he was a fade. Yeah, he's a bet against guy coming down the stretch.
But the first 3 or 4 innings last night, he was tight.
Yeah, he is. He's a struggling pitcher down. Well, he's got experience. He's been through. There's nobody's logged more minute. And listen, he's a guy that was better. In the past, he wouldn't want to bet top pitchers in the SEC.
He was
a previous season or two.
Last year, he started the season as their number 2 guy, moved up to number 1 when the guy got hurt. And last night, I thought Oregon had a great shot. Sanford, their pitcher, was the MVP of the regional. He had thrown 6 one-hit innings.
Last night was a 50-50 game. Of course they had a shot.
And they got the lead going to the 8th. Couldn't hold it.
The funny thing about the nerves aspect about going to Omaha now. Well, now more people are watching, but the crowds are not on you like they are in these regional and super regionals.
There is an enormous amount of foul
There's
ground.
tons of foul territory. That's another reason where, we just say some of these balls, there's going to be a lot of balls that you see drop in playable territory because there's so much room. But it's so removed, it's almost sterile compared to these lively, these regionals are popping, man. The atmosphere.
Sterile's a great word.
But it's still on that stage. And you see some guys cave, but pitchers usually get a little bit more confidence. I've seen way more pitchers cave in Rosenblatt than I have in Charles Schwab.
By a lot. Alabama held on to their lead earlier today. They finished off St. John 7-2, so the Tide's going to Omaha. The Kansas-Oklahoma game was supposed to start at 12. They had to back it up 15 minutes, but they're on the field ready to go now.
Alabama had a Knicks through the East path.
Knicks through we're talking
about all these monster teams and having struggles or, either being knocked out or being close to knocked out like the 5 seed North Carolina was. When Alabama just slept through their cakewalk regional. And
they did. The Johnnies who were so good last week could not repeat that performance. Oklahoma leads Kansas 8-1 as they resume play in the top of the 4th inning in Lawrence, Kansas, where Kansas has looked basically shell-shocked for most of this region.
So both of these teams would play each other as well. Oklahoma and Alabama are matched up because that's the 2-7 seed. Oklahoma beat the 2 seed Georgia Tech. Alabama's the 7 seed.
That's right. Look, you're getting Georgia Texas on in the first round. That's the game of the first round.
That might be the two favorites.
I think North Carolina will be right there too. But yeah.
You still on a North Carolina team? You survived that regional, but man,
I'm on the right side of the bracket though. I'm on the correct. I don't have to play Georgia or Texas in the first game.
I understand.
So
I understand.
DeCaro was pretty.
Who did they have in their first game? They played team that came out the Auburn, Ole Miss.
Yeah. That'll be fun. I want to talk about Ole Miss and Auburn here too, because that was also a real interesting super region.
I don't want any part of North Carolina. I've seen they were very fortunate to get out of that regional.
They were. The left fielder would have caught the ball.
Dude, he's got no chance.
He had a chance.
No, he didn't.
He had a chance. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
If he calls him off, he's gonna catch the ball.
He's not there in time to call him off. He's going to have to run into a brick wall on a sprint, and he got shielded.
He did get shielded.
Okay, so he never had a chance.
No,
the way it unfolded, he never had a chance.
We disagree. It's okay. It's okay. We disagree.
Oh my God! What have you been drinking all weekend?
Powerade, baby. Powerade.
Lord. Live here, Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Big Mike's again. Your private parties, your fantasy football drafts in multiple rooms here, including the Big Aspen room that's been recently redone here. Get your fantasy football drafts, your receptions parties here at Big Mike's. A happy hour from 3 until 7, Monday through Friday, and all day on Sunday starting at 11 a.m. Top of the fourth inning, Oklahoma 8-1 against Kansas, trying to wrap up. If they win, if they hold on to this big lead, it will give the SEC 5 of the 8 in the College World Series field, and they will be guaranteed a team in the finals, because all 4 of these teams outside of Ole Miss will be on the same side of the bracket.
SEC Invitational and the North Carolina Invitational. There you go. Okay.
So you're going to have Alabama, Oklahoma, Georgia against Texas, and then on the other side you got Ole Miss against North Carolina, Troy against West Virginia.
North Carolina with that bracket is going to be, it might be the favorite. It might be the favorite.
At least a co-favorite.
It'll be close, but I think I mean they don't have the power rating that. Even though Texas is 6, they don't have Texas power rating. I mean, Texas was like a 240 favorite last night against Oregon. Oregon's a really good team.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
and
what was the line for North Carolina against US? It wasn't like that. I know the series price was high.
The series price was $265,
yeah.
And then I think yesterday's game, I think they were $165, maybe. Something like that. Am I remembering that right? A lot of different.
I don't know. That might be a little high.
They were.
Yeah, close.
Yeah. The Auburn Ole Miss regional. Ole Miss.
Here it is right here. Basically, tribe favorites. 275, 275, 300. Georgia, North Carolina, Texas.
Yeah. Ole Miss going back to Omaha. Mike Bianco making.
Don't let the runs get hot.
First trip back since they win the national championship, and
they look good, man.
It was a really good series, I thought, between Auburn and Ole Miss. The first game when you're sending our old friend Elliott out there. Hunter
I think
Elliott.
He's a fade against guy right now, though, Charlie.
I
mean,
agree.
he is pitching with smoke and mirrors, man. I mean, they're hitting him hard. They're getting a lot of guys on, and he's just wiggling off just enough because he's going to pitch. He just don't have the stuff. Not close to what he did when they made that run, and the numbers reflected the overall numbers. Now the win-losses, he's part of them winning, but it seems like it's just a matter of time before somebody. And to give up constant rallies in a ballpark like Charles Schwab, man, I don't know. I think they're going to catch up with him.
I think Schwab may actually help him. He did get 2 double plays to stay out of trouble the other night. I mean,
it's every outing with him.
Yeah, no, he's out there. He reminds me of he's an older guy now for college baseball. The guy in major leagues. I'm throwing everything I can at him, Skipper. I'm just trying to get through. And he did. Rabe is the guy who's pitched. Their number 2 has pitched a lot better over the last half of the season. But they've got a good bullpen. Hooks shut things down on Friday night.
Hooks has been in a lot of pressure situations.
Yes,
lately.
he had. And look, Auburn threw Alvarez at him. Alvarez didn't pitch particularly well in the regional, but had pitched well through the course of the season.
It was just, I thought, a really good college baseball. It was a close SEC. If they play that series 10 times, it probably end up splitting them. Rabe came back in the second game. He pitched, I thought,
pretty routine win, if you ask me.
Yeah, really well.
He's better than Elliott's just a role reversal.
Yeah,
he was the number 2 that year with Dylan DeLucia, whatever his name was, and he battled some injuries, and he was a veteran, on that team. But he was not. Hunter Elliott's not the best starter on that team. Not even close. And do you hear people when they talk about, like, people that cover the sport, they talk about, like Aaron Fitt, I heard him this morning talking about all of Ole Miss's pitching. Well, Ole Miss's pitch, like, with their ace it's not that good. No. I mean, I'm sorry, Hunter Elliott, Charlie. He has been very fortunate. His ERA's over 5.
Yes,
for a college ace. That's a team that's going. How many aces going to Omaha? Or have a 5 ERA?
No,
it just doesn't happen.
And he's their Friday night guy, but he's not their best pitcher. Rabe is their best pitcher right now. But one of the reasons I liked Ole Miss in this series is Auburn's pitching was compromised, having to come through the losers bracket. And sure enough, who's their number one? Jake Marciano. He doesn't pitch in this series because they couldn't bring him back on 3 days.
Monday.
He threw Monday. They couldn't bring him back on 3 days, and they chose not to bring him back on 4 days, which was probably the responsible decision. But think about that. You got a super regional at home, and your ace, your Friday night guy.
Okay, that's one way to put it. That did happen. Okay, yeah. But if he's going to pitch, you're going to put him at his optimum.
Yeah.
And to bring him back in game 2, we need to win 2.
Right.
Okay, and you wait that extra day, that would put him in a better position to be successful.
No, I thought they made the right call.
That's okay.
I thought they made the right call, but it's unfortunate, right?
Once you go to Omaha and not throw Bumstead, was their ace that year? Smoke's year?
Bumstead was their Sunday guy for most of the year. They didn't put him in the Friday night role until very, very late, and there was a reason for that. He had very good numbers. The Friday night pressure kind of got to him a little bit. He was a lot better in one of the other games. But, yeah, they did.
Well, he's starting in the first 2 games of Super Regional.
Yeah,
but he didn't start in Omaha.
He wasn't the Friday. No, he wasn't the Friday night guy until probably the middle of May that year. He'd compiled a terrific record on Sundays. They were reluctant to put him in the Friday night role.
That's when Steinle asked us Smoke. Smoke said, "Well, I mean, who can remember if we're trying to win a tournament?"
Right.
I mean, that's the path. That's the only path we could take, and I think I could listen. Smoke makes some sense when it comes to it, but when you put it like that, wait a minute, you went to Super Regional, you didn't throw your best pitcher. You went to Omaha and you didn't throw your best pitcher. I mean, it just kind of throws you off. But Smoke says, "Who can remember who finished second last year?" South Carolina. Oh, third. Cal State Fortune. Stop Steinle.
Steinle was interesting to have.
Speaking of Kansas?
Yeah, no kidding. It's interesting to have. It's a nice reference point in the press box. You got a little commentary to go along with it.
I like when he questioned Cano's lineup with his SID.
Oh gosh, he went. But why are you hitting him? Steinle, I'm not asking for your approval. I'm telling you to print the doggone thing out and bring it to the press box. Father's Day is fast approaching. Get some gifts for Dad at the Thibodeau Store. TheThibodeauStore.com online. You can get to all 4 locations: Pierreport, LaRose, Lockport. Tool specials now from Stanley, from DeWalt, from Channel Lock, and others. If Dad's looking for some tools, you can help him out there. Gift cards also available. Same-day pickup for anything that's available on the website, or some of these items are available for delivery. Lots of outdoor cooking equipment, patio furniture, poolside furniture, cordless power tools. No problem finding a gift for Dad at TheThibodeauStore.com. If you're doing construction projects this summer, make sure you check out the Thibodeau Store. Lumber delivery available out of 2 of the sites, so they can get it where you're going. Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. The Pierreport Store, Highway 70 in Pierreport. Check them out online at TheThibodeauStore.com. You get to all 4 locations.
You think Bianco flop them? especially with North Carolina being the class of that side?
It's an interesting question.
I would. Who gives them a better chance at winning?
Rabe.
Yeah, he does.
With
he's better.
Yeah, he's better. No,
yeah, we've seen enough.
I'm
And
just wondering-
Elliott's got that 5-year, and he's so close to having a 6.5, 7.
No, you're right.
You know,
the double plays kept him out of trouble the other night. I wonder, North Carolina's got to throw DeCaro right in the first game. They didn't in the Super
the kid that threw Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll give him respect.
Yeah.
That guy, and I got to go when 93 when the stud for Wichita State.
Tyler Green.
No.
Dryford.
No, Dryford. Dryford just said, well, Action's ball wasn't doing it. I felt like Dryford watching Carolina Saturday. Like, what is this guy doing so special that he's just these guys can't? Nobody could touch him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see a lot of movement. I don't see this off, change of, speeds of location. He was just throwing. And they couldn't touch him. And that was a pesky lineup.
Yeah.
Not a ton of pop, but USC, the pesky lineup.
Your season's on the line. You have to win this game, and your ace goes out and gives you a complete game.
He was great, man. Because Carolina left all kinds of guys on the bases that game too.
They did. Live at
At lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go into Henry Hayes. Talk some NBA. We got the finals, game 3. I don't know if anybody's heard. Presidents coming in there, a little extra security. They're talking about. Are the railroads still? Are they still striking in New York?
All I know is no parties around the Garden, but they're saying
no watch parties.
They're saying they were going to do that anyway. They had like 25 people arrested after Game 2.
Come on, man, it's a good night.
Well, it was a road game.
It was a well-behaved crew
for a road game.
Henry, how you doing?
Yeah, man, it's going to be bananas in the street tonight. It's going to be something to see for sure.
Speak up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I said it's going to be quite the scene in Madison Square Garden tonight.
All right, we talk about that all the time, with the the overhyped things coming out of New York and things like that. Everybody wants, but damn it, the league. Silver. He's done a lot of things that are wrong, but this is a win for the league, huh? it is a story. Forget whatever you think of New York and if they overhype things. This is a likable team, man. That's pulling off a monster upset, and I guess the more seasoned team is going to come out the winner. We go back to that, but man, this got Wembanyama is. We all like watching him. No matter what you think of him, what he has to do, but man, I think it's a home run. The only thing you won't get is, I guess, a deep series at this pace.
Well, you nailed it a minute ago, Jimmy. So look, even if you hate the Knicks and you hate the attention, and it's kind of like Notre Dame football, and it's just like, come on,
right.
Or the Lakers, or come on, it's a worldwide team. These guys are really easy to root for. When Jalen Brunson is the heartbeat of your team, and you find out with a little research that he gave back a lot of money. We're talking into the hundreds of millions with respect to maxing out his deal so that they could put players around him. And then he's one of the smallest guys in the league, arguably pound for pound, the best player in the league. And then not only that, but Brunson, Jimmy, he kind of bets on himself, leaves Dallas, for New York. And boy, he's easy to root for. It's Karl-Anthony Towns. Same thing. That trade from the Timberwolves got kind of panned. It's like, New York, what are you doing? What's the strategy here? How are you building a team around this guy? Well, his transformation has been nothing short of stunning. And I think he's the main reason they're up 2-0. Because I could tell you the Spurs did not count on Wemby having his hands full one-on-one with no help against Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
So, I know Hanny will smile when I say this. This group has done the unthinkable. They've taken James Dolan off the front page. Dolan, who is arguably, you want to argue him and Al Davis Jr. are the worst owners in pro sports. Go ahead. Let's get a beer and let's have the argument. But you don't hear about the knuckleheadedness of James Dolan. So this group is really, and they play hard. They're fun to watch with Josh Hart and Bridges. And And, a little bit of a Mike Brown renaissance too, Jimmy. So, look, they're easy.
A little bit. Listen, I mean, when you're watching the teams play, and you're watching the Knicks play, even against some weaker competition in the East, this is a smart team. I'm sorry. And when your team is just one way, when people say, "Oh, this guy's stronger on the bench," well, give me some reasons. Well, I'll give you one reason. One reason is just what team is making better decisions on the court. And how many games in this postseason have the Knicks not made better decisions than their opponents? I mean, it's every game. Every game. And when you could get Karl Anthony Towns to play with some basketball IQ, I mean, it's taken a long time to mature or whatever, but I mean, and the other thing is, and I think Charlie, more and more this Detroit, we brought this up, that Detroit team that lost game 1 to the Lakers and won the next 4, but they were huge underdogs. They were very, very much the underdog, if not more, than what the Knicks were here against the Spurs. Because I don't remember that Pistons team. They were good, but just obliterating the competition. And now they had tougher competition coming through, but it was much more of a struggle to get to the finals than with the Knicks in this path. And it's just how many guys in the first 8 for the Knicks are in their prime. Well, man, pretty much all of them. How many guys in the first 8 for the Spurs in their prime? De'Aaron Fox, and he's not 100%? Should be, maybe. I mean, These guys are all, it's all the future versus the present, and, they just do think they don't care, man. They share the ball. They play hard. They're playing smarter. They just, the whole bit, man. And that's a team we gravitate to usually.
Now, having said all that, Jimmy, remember, we were 3 weeks ago, we would have said, would you have put your money on Knicks to win the whole thing? No. And so, we were questioning the Cavs, the Magic, and that's fair, right? But you said, look, you got OKC, who still hadn't been ousted by San Antonio yet, and then San Antonio was feeling themselves. So, this is an unusual run that they're putting together where they're just playing really, really good basketball.
And it's the thing when we watching, The Last Dance a little bit from time to time when they show the replays, whatever. And that big thing when Jordan kept getting knocked down to the floor and then beating on Jordan, he got on the weights and he said, I got to be able to endure this. I got to become fit. There's no doubt. And Wemby has, okay. Wemby has. You look at when he got drafted, right, and now he's put some weight on and some strength. He's got more to do. But the other thing he's got to improve is his conditioning. Because he played 29 to 30 minutes all year long, and now he's playing extended minutes. He's Superman in spurts, not for the entire time he's on the court. Because we saw Superman a little bit in Game 1, in Game 2, down the stretch. We saw him, but it's not over the course of the entire game. It's only in spurts.
Yeah, and look, remember, he's not 23 years old yet. He's such an unusual body type, Jimmy, that we've literally never seen in the league. So I think that'll come with time. It's funny you mentioned the Last Dance. I was watching the episode last night with Reggie Miller, and you probably remember where Jordan choked Reggie Miller. Can you imagine a player doing that now? After the congressional investigation, there'd probably be a 2-week suspension. I don't even think he got teed up. Well, he might have gotten teed up in that game, but that was it. He stayed in the game. So it's quite different today.
It is different, but you get there is much more physical play in the postseason than in the regular season. We expect the Spurs to be desperate. And let me say this. Spurs could have won either game in Game 1 or Game 2.
They won both games. They had a lead in Game 2 with what?
Less than a minute to go. Yeah. Less than a minute. Well, it was tied when he turned the ball over and they fouled him. It was tied then. And that was the biggest shooters are going to miss shots. They're going to make shots and miss shots at the end and stuff like that. You got to give it to Wemby there because he's 7'4". He's going to get his shot off, and he got a clean look. He just missed it. But the turnover, how much both of them, but more on Wemby, Henry, on that turnover?
Yeah, it's a little KYP, which stands for Know Your Personnel. Castle's making the right play there in the sprint run out to get in the lane. I think he just kind of momentarily choked, and I think with time he's not going to make that play. But it could go down, Jimmy, as one of these kind of 5 to 7 single plays in finals. We remember the Ray Allen corner 3. We remember the LeBron James block at the rim versus Steph Curry. There are these plays, and those plays turn those series.
Yeah, know, the play that it reminded me of, Henry, if we're talking about superstar makes boneheaded decision, remember when the clock ran out on Magic in the Garden?
Oh, yeah.
They were holding for last shot, and Magic held the ball. They didn't get a shot off. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it reminded me of. Here's this guy. He's a superstar. He's the biggest reason that they're there. He just made a bad play at that
Well, they
point.
want to be in a rush. They want to get out and run. They did that very successfully against Minnesota, which kind of opened it up. Kind of dusted them. They want to run, but they have been impatient sometimes. There's sometimes when he's on the bench, what are you doing trying to shoot like a hot potato with they're like they're hyperactive sometimes. Wait, you want to increase the amount of possessions while your best players on the bench? What kind of sense does that make? But they want to play. The John Wooden quote: "Play fast, don't play in a hurry." And sometimes they're young. Then when we come down to it, and we tried to tell ourselves that over and over, we just can't get past some of these the Knicks playing at such a high level.
And a shout out to Chalmette, because the last possession, San Antonio, they're going to get the ball to Victor, and Mitchell Robinson on him, which surprised me a little bit for the last.
No, Towns came off. Towns was contesting the shot.
It was Robinson.
No, Towns.
No, it was Robinson. I ran it back. It was Robinson. I'm as certain as
Is
I
that
can.
the last pick and roll with Fox and Wemby? Who were the two defenders, Henry?
It skips
Just
my
pull it up,
mind, Jimmy.
I thought it was Robinson.
Who do you like tonight, Henry?
Boy, it's a tough one. On the one hand, you say that they've been in both these games. They could have gotten both of these games. You do say that Mitch Johnson has been outcoached, clearly.
Yes.
And so,
yes.
Now, having said that, this is going to be the toughest one by far for the Knicks to win. So do you say that, boy, with all the circus that's going to be Madison Square Garden, and you're going to have all the old school guys from Clyde Frazier to Patrick Ewing, and John Starks will be there, and of course President Trump will be there. Just if gun to my head, I would play the Spurs, because I do think that a couple things. Look, if you're Johnson, you like your Jalen Brunson defense. He's 19 of 56 for the series. That's 56 shots, guys, to score 51 points. You'll take that. I think you could see a little less Castle minutes tonight going forward, and you've got to play Harper more, clearly. That's the matchup that the Knicks have no answer for, especially when he gets to the rim, and he just abuses smaller Jalen Brunson. And then, I think don't be surprised if we see Johnson do a little bit something different on Towns, because Towns has been killing him, whether it's his threes from top of the key, or him as a playmaker, or him in the post. And we haven't seen those stupid Karl Anthony Towns fouls that he usually gets. So, had to bet it, Jimmy. Give me the Spurs, but I don't feel great about it.
Charlie's right. It was Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson on that last little switch on the pick and roll. And Robinson did a good job of not overreacting to Fox's penetration, anticipating that he was going to come back to Wemby.
He slides, he gets a hand up.
He contested it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he contested it. He contested it. So we'll see. It'd be a circus. It'd be a circus. So, it's a sweep, though, Henry? What is this thing going to get in at 5, 6?
Well, obviously, I heard you guys earlier, and Hanny's correct. Spurs got to get out front. They cannot play from behind with this in that madhouse. You'll have that place will be going crazy. This is a young team. We've established that, so they need to get up on them quickly and play their brand. And if they don't do that, they're going to sweep them.
Well, Henry, you compared the Knicks to Notre Dame talking stuff. This is more like Rice talking smack. Okay, the Knicks have been so damn bad for so long, man. At least Notre Dame wins a few games. So, oh man, so 25 to take 25 arrests. Come on, man, let them watch the damn game.
Sure,
come on, man.
For a home game, the total would be a little bit higher.
Thank you, Henry.
Okay, guys.
Brunson's shooting 34% in this series. He comes out and takes some shots early.
Who's that?
Brunson. He's shooting 34. He's averaging 25 points, but he's shooting.
Oh no,
34%.
he's he's missed more shots than anybody, huh?
Yeah.
He comes more than Wemby.
I could see him being hyped up, missed some shots early. San Antonio takes the lead after the first quarter. I'm not saying they're gonna win the game. I like them in the first quarter.
Well, the Spurs are a good defensive team.
Yeah.
They are a good defensive team, much better than the trash they played in the East. We know that, but the Spurs. The Knicks have also been with their spacing and pulling them out. A lot of teams, what they did the Knicks this year, they put their big on Hart and sagged, and so you could still cover the paint, defend the rim, and then just let him shoot a perimeter shot because that's what you want. And so I hadn't seen that out of the Spurs.
No, and the guy that they want hanging back, protecting the paint, is Wembanyama.
Yes!
He's chasing Towns around.
Quit chasing him.
Yeah, well, maybe they will tonight. Come back, wrap things up here live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Big Mike's again. Your gatherings, your fantasy football drafts, your parties, your receptions. Check out the Aspen Room here. It's just recently remodeled, and multiple other party rooms that you can use for your fantasy football drafts and other get-togethers. Happy hour from 3 to 7 Monday through Friday with terrific discounted drink prices all day on Sunday starting at 11 a.m. So come on by here at Big Mike's. All you can eat ball shrimp on Mondays. That starts at 5 o'clock. And yes, Jimmy, it was 30 years ago today that we were in Omaha, Nebraska. Watched Warren Morris hit one out of the park. 30 years today, June 8th, 1996. I thought LSU did a great job with the reunion. Did a fantastic job of getting that team back together. Just about everybody made it. I think that Jacques Doucet, our friend at Channel 9, had a piece with Warren and Skip. We did a piece on our podcast with Skip. I did a long column for TigerBay.com. You can check out a long piece about our entire trip there, which is one I'll never forget. So 30 years ago today, time flies. It's a pretty day in Omaha, Nebraska that day with the wind blowing.
Oh, dude, no, I'll never forget. Not a cloud in the sky, about 72 degrees. It was 73, something like that. I mean, just no. We were in. I was with you in the press box at the beginning, and I could see down at the scout seats that they had a couple of seats available. I went down. I should have went sunshine,
with you.
Man.
I should have went with you.
And I was right behind home plate, and actually a little bit to the left where I could see right down that right field extended, and I could tell it was going to be I could tell it was going to be in there for a hit. I said, "Well, game's tied." I never gave it a chance to leave the yard.
I didn't either, but it did. Thanks to our friends here at Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill here in Denham Springs. Tomorrow we will be at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. For Jimmy, for Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. And stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.